Starting for CJ Entus to the bottom left of Daybreak. One game behind his opponent already. It is
CJ Entus Bbyong.
Bbyong needs a win here.
Yeah, he definitely does. And his opponent starts to the top right of the map, and I think very few people would disagree with me that as much as I love casting him, he just doesn't belong here. It is starting for FXO.
FXO Leenock.
He's trying to find his way back home to Code S.
And this is exactly where we all want to see him. The Leenock in game number 1, he toyed with his food a little bit, but if he gets complacent, that might give...
fighting.
Yeah. If he gets complacent here, which I don't think he will, then Bbyong has a chance to get back into the series, and he has to hope for mistakes.
Yes. And the question becomes now, what build is Leenock going to do in this game on Daybreak? I feel he's going to play a fast third on this map and play the more standard style, the less aggressive style that most Zergs play on Daybreak. Even though Leenock is an aggressive Zerg a lot of the time, it's a little bit unpredictable, in fact, for him to play differently on this map, just like other Zergs would.
And we have him going straight into gas before the pool, whereas Bbyong is starting a CC first.
Yeah, Leenock again goes for the gas before pool, wants to get that gas up as soon as possible.
Yeah. You know, the situation for Bbyong is really an unfortunate one if you try to see it from his perspective. Leenock is undoubtedly one of the strongest players that we have in Code A this season.
Yeah.
And for Bbyong to be in this bracket is really, really unfortunate. He has to deal with such a tough opponent. Of course, when you head into the third round, you will only have players that have been in Code S, that have the potential, or that have been doing really well, for example, in Pro League.
Yes.
But Leenock is he's a king amongst kings.
Yeah,
in,
he's an accomplished player. He's one of the best Zerg players in the world we have for Wings of Liberty. And he shows it every single game he plays. And part of the reason why I really appreciate Leenock's play style is that he's like Genius in a lot of ways, and I always bring up Genius for this, is these are types of players that are so unpredictable that their late game is so strong, but they don't have to play that way. You never really know what they're going to do. And you could say Leenock is an aggressive Zerg because he's aggressive more than other Zergs, but he can also not be aggressive. So when you're Bbyong, you have to think about all these things. You have to think, well, how do I handle this guy? What is he going to do? I have to scout. Every game is different. You can't blind counter him. That's not an option.
I think what you really have to do when you're Bbyong is to put most of these thoughts aside and just be like, okay, I cannot really prepare for what he does. Might sound a little weird, but I'm just not there. I have to play my game, trying to force my game upon him. If I can do that, if I get a few good engagements in the early game, and I'm the one who suddenly dictates the pace of the match, then I can take this.
Yeah, he has to close his eyes and see the barcode. This has to be a ladder game for him where he's just going to scout and play his game, his plan for the map, and forget who he's playing against, because there's no real style here. It's Leenock. He knows his opponent is extremely high level, and knowing that does not help you.
Yeah. Once again, we have the speed coming up. We're looking at a 5-minute mark, and he still has gas. He could go into the lair tech again, and I think he will.
Yeah, he's continuing to mine all the gas, just like last game, the exact same build.
Yeah, he doesn't stop. He's going for exactly the same build, or is he? Let's see what his next move is. He has the resources to go for the tech now.
He could go lair.
Well, no,
there it is.
There we go. There's lair, there's the added gas, and what is Bbyong going to do? Early expansion for him. Now the tech lab. Not as much production buildings as he had in the first game.
Yeah. He certainly does not. He's just going into his tech here a little bit. With this tech lab, though, we're going to see, well, he goes Combat Shield system. You can see either. Combat Shield does more bomber style, where you come out with some Marauders and you move across the map at the third base. But this type of push can be just as easily deflected by Leenock as it was last game if he gets the Baneling Nest and just plays defensively and safely here.
I'm not even sure if he's going to push here, to be honest with you. I feel that if he decides to go for it, Leenock will be so ready.
Yeah. I think he wants to push at and see if there's a third base. If there is no third, I don't think he's going to try to attack at the natural. I think he'll just pull back and start with his medevac tech. This is going to be Hellion-less, it looks like, more and more.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
If you don't have the Hellions, and Leenock already prepares with Banelings, if there is a push, which I doubt, then what you have to do is make sure that those Banelings connect with the Marines, not with the Marauders.
Yes. Nice block here by Leenock. He makes sure that Bbyong doesn't know if there's a third, so he's in the dark right now, and he's moving across the map. There's not a lot of Lings out right now for Leenock. In fact, there are only two, those two Lings that just killed the the SCV, and Bbyong is not moving out.
I feel he shouldn't. There's an Overlord that's going to see when he moves out. There are going to be Zerglings at the Zalnaga Watchtower. I feel that Leenock is just not an opponent that you can take down as easy as this. Especially since the Baning Nest is now once again done. Leenock knows these timings. And look at this Overlord vision.
Yeah, and you know, you're so right, because what this build is designed to accomplish is forcing a cancel or killing a third hatchery, I feel. But the thing is, if you go there and there's no hatchery, and Leenock has speed and he makes a bunch of links, he just surrounds and kills you, and then you're like, well, that doesn't work. He's going for the natural, he's not even going for the third base.
The thing is now, I'm a little bit curious. Okay, here come those Zerglings. He saw them move out. He has the links there. He still has the gas.
Ready.
The Banelings are there,
Same
exactly.
spine.
A good creep spread to the front, right to the choke point.
Yeah. This is going to be pretty tough for Bbyong to make work. Now he's going to go over here. He is going to check for the third base.
And Leenock does even have more time. He goes into Burrow and into speed for the Banelings before he goes into the Mutalisks now.
Now he sees no third. The question is, does he turn around and go home? No, he says, no, I'm going to go and try to punish him for his tech. And now he turns around. He just... To attack here would be silly and almost suicidal. He knows that there's some sort of defensive play going up there.
Be quite frank with you, as soon as those Mutalisks are out, Leenock is going to try to catch this army.
Yeah, I think so. With this many Speedlings, I think he easily could. He can see everything here. A scan eliminates some of that creep.
Very low eco for Leenock. Well, for two bases, this is of course absolutely fine, but he doesn't have the third base. He's going to take it soon, and he's making sure that there is nothing at the third base, running in with the Zerglings and trying to check if a few units were left behind. And the rest of the army for Bbyong is trying to get the hell out of there. They know exactly that if they linger around for a little bit longer, the Leenock is going to hunt them down one by one. Alien style.
It'll give a new meaning to linger around with all those links coming through. Leenock comes into the main base. There's a turret already ready for him, though. He will deny the command center a little bit longer, though, and maybe get a second SCV. Yep.
Nice. Taking down two Marines, too.
Combat shield's ready. He's got to be careful with his mutas.
Stim is not here yet.
Gets away. Leenock has a feel of map control with these mutas. The problem for him, though, is that it's going to be a little bit tougher to deny the third command center. He does have Baneling speed. He's got a decent amount of Banelings, but Bbyong is going to see this attack coming if he goes for a direct attack with no siege tanks, though. Yeah,
Leenock doesn't spread creep yet at the third base. That's something that he should start. I feel this is an Overload, right? Could you double check on the minimap? To the left side of the map. Oh, it's a burrowed Zergling. Okay, I would still love him to get an Overlord there as well, so that you have to use like a scan and kill the Overlord first. But that's already a nice move.
And this map control I was talking about is Leenock just picking off a reactor here. And pick off these Marines as well, there's not enough.
Oh, look at this. Bbyong is trying to move out, but this leaves his base rather exposed.
Yeah.
Leenock has to be careful here. This is a little bit too much to handle at this point. He needs more units.
The lack of creep spread being a big problem here. He scans, is not going to get caught by any sort of Baneling traps. The medevac's a little bit too far away, but he has to turn around.
The medevac's trailing behind, are getting a few shots. Eating some damage here.
Leenock needs to get a few more units out. He starts 26 Lings and 8 Banelings. The worker count, though, is dead even, and Bbyong has that third command center floating over right now.
Going into siege.
Great scan.
That is exactly the scan that he needed.
You know, Leenock not able to do very much with his mutas so far in this game, and Bbyong is trying to punish him for it. He doesn't have any Lings to catch the army. Only Banelings is not good enough here.
The Zerglings are just coming in, and here come those Banelings. They're connecting right away. He needs to back up a good split by Bbyong.
He wants to
nice
fight on creep. He loses his queen, though, and he will be able to take out the last of these units.
This is too much now. He can't hunt down everything. The Marauder's gone, and now the Medivacs are being eliminated by the Mutalisks. Well done.
Yeah.
Third base for Bbyong is now up, and he had to fly it into the middle of the map as he couldn't really place it down at his third base to the top left.
And since he's putting on so much hyper-aggression, I find this choice to be pretty smart anyways. It's a little bit closer, a little bit safer. He can push these mutas back, for example, using the Watchtower. Leenock needs that extra queen remade. He's doing it now so he can get those larva injects up. Leenock takes a supply lead, but again, the upgrades for Bbyong are pretty far ahead.
What Leenock really has is a much more mobile army than Bbyong. He can bounce around the map, across the map. That's what he does. We have him with more and more Mutalisks, and he's already getting the +2 attack upgrade. So this is really designed to just go for hit and run. Go in, kill an SCV, kill a Marine, kill a supply depot, maybe a turret, and then back off again. Dominate the map, and he's probably going to build a fourth base very soon.
Yeah, I think so.
Saturating the third first, of course, which we just saw with the drones on the production tab, but then we will see the fourth base, whereas he's still trying... He saw the third, right?
Yes.
No, he didn't.
Did he not? Oh,
No,
wow.
he did not see the third base. He does actually not know about it.
That's
Wow.
really that's actually kind of crazy because he didn't hold the watchtower. He
Yeah.
went and poked at it, but
He works under wrong assumptions here.
yeah. I mean, he's got to realize that Bbyong is not sitting on 2 base. If he does a rash attack here because he thinks he's
Oh
ahead,
god, he gets in.
oh wow, Bbyong is totally out of position. He has to go up the ramp to come back in, and the Banelings are waiting. He's going to connect with the SCVs at the very least. Oh, disgusting, and he will get the command center. That's almost a full energy orbital as well, and he's set up the Baneling trap.
Yeah, that was 3 mules right there. 25 SCVs already dead, and here come the Banelings!
Oh, nicely
my
done.
god!
This is Leenock in action. He's going to take out the refineries as well. Bbyong just cannot compete with this guy.
The Leenock
medevacs.
The Leenock in his natural habitat, and he is taking down everything. He is eating away at those
The
numbers.
bunker is empty, so are the siege tanks. They're out in the middle of nowhere. He gets 1. He may get 2. He decides to fly away.
The siege tanks look lost, and yeah.
So does Bbyong at this point. A 2-base Terran on a 3-base Zerg who will take a 4th. And possibly, you know, to add an infestation pit soon as well. He's got enough gas to continue the Mutalisk production, and so far he is. He's got +2 for his Mutas, making 12 more Banes right now, and he's got this great position with the Zerglings.
Zerglings trying to stream in again. Here they are. That
Command Center's going to have to be cancelled.
Not only the command center, he's losing the siege tank now. That Thor is in danger too. If he actually gets to the Thor, he's a little bit lucky.
He's actually just going to pick off the
It
Marines
doesn't
here
actually
and just take out all the anti-air.
This is over. Leenock is eating Bbyong for breakfast.
Yeah. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner here, it feels like. The factory starts to burn. Leenock doubling the supply makes more links as upgrades are finishing up. Bbyong ahead in upgrades, but you know, it's not going to matter if he doesn't have any units left.
In this situation, I have to point this out again. Bbyong is not a bad player, guys. Leenock is just on such a
He's on another level. He really is.
He's on a completely another level, and this makes Bbyong look bad, but he is definitely not a bad player.
GG. You know, that level that you're talking about, most people would refer to it as Code S, and Leenock says so too. He's just got 1 more best of 3 ahead of him to start Heart of the Swarm off on Code S.
This was a match where we have a player which is one of the highest skill players in the GSL playing his best matchup by far against an opponent who's struggling in the same matchup. Bbyong was in his worst matchup here. Terran versus Zerg, that is where he has problems, and Leenock, yeah. I mean, you saw what happened.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think we have to...
Total domination here in this series. Even having some scary moments at his third base, just stayed calm. Leenock is an aggressor, but he's a defender, you know?
Yeah.
He's either putting on the pressure or he's holding off yours no matter what you're trying to throw at him.
Once again, I feel sorry for Bbyong that he had this Code A bracket. If he saw that, he was probably just looking at it as like, oh wow, I actually have to face Leenock next. He won in the first round. He took down... I said it earlier, was it first?
Yes.
I think so. A Protoss player, anyways, I think it was first.
Or no, actually, first lost to Labyrinth, I think it was.
Let me just
there was first loss to a Terran, I don't remember which one it was.
Bbyong took down Finale, also starting with F.
Yes.
That's it. Finale and first. So against Finale, he won. Now he's at least in the up and downs. So he deserves to be here. Against Finale, he had a 2-0. But Leenock, this is one of those players. If you just look at the lineup of Code A and you ask someone, who do you think are going to be the players that are going to advance this Season 2 Code S? Leenock's name
is on
will
everybody's
show
list,
exactly.
man.
In every list, his name will show up, and this is why.
You know, you got to give Bbyong props for trying to play straight-up games. He didn't try to do really aggressive Hellion builds, didn't try to do a 2-Rax. He just tried to play a regular Terran versus Zerg.
He tried, and he's just not there yet. He might be, but so far, Leenock is just the better player. But talking about the last game that we have for the day, the last best of 3 is going to be Bbyong versus Flash. This game, Terran versus Terran, coming up in a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in 5.
See you in 5. Bye.